For this video, I'm going to continue with what I had begun in an original video dealing with Google Docs. And in that video, I showed how to create and how to share a doc. In this one, I want to take things a step further. And this picks up with the same document that I had created in the previous video, Chapter 1 quiz, and I have a couple questions. And one of the things I said was I could actually share this as a document with my entire class, me having initiated 2 questions, and then tell each student, when you get a chance over the next day or so, I want you to type your name in the shared document and write down your 2 questions. And so, for example, Susan may have gone through and typed her questions. That enables me to see, A, that the students are reading, because I'll know by the depth and the interest level, I guess maybe for lack of a better phrase, in their questions, how into the question they are and how reasonable the questions are, that they're keeping up to date. And then I can click over here in the comment. I can open the comment history, click on a comment. I can address Susan because where the word is highlighted, where the word question is highlighted, that's sort of where to put that. I might, Susan, what did you mean by ... It allows me to get some clarification. She could then come back and respond to the comment. If this was just a case of me having the students open a Google Doc for an assignment in class, maybe I give a writing prompt, I might tell them, when you're finished, don't print it out, just share it with me, and then I would make my comments online. In that case, it's not necessarily a publicly shared document amongst the entire class. It's between that student's document, that student, and myself. But within documents, it's a lot more than just a sort of creating a test, creating a paper. I can do a lot of things with it. From the file menu, I can make a copy of it. Maybe I want to make a copy of an original question sheet, and I want those questions to stay the same without having student input, and so they make a copy. They still have the original questions, but the copy is then the sheet with their answers. I can download this in any number of forms. Microsoft Word, I can download it as a PDF file, other types that are listed there. Email it as an attachment. Make available offline, which is a really nice feature because clearly I can work this document whether I have internet service or not. I can look at different version histories. Maybe I think, you know what, I made so many changes. I want to go back to that because changes are saved. You look up here and it says last edit was made seconds ago by Christopher Patrick. There are any number of things that can happen. It saves for you. Version history would be that. I could rename it if I decide, instead of sample doc, maybe I'll just call this the Chapter 1 quiz. I can move it. I can move this into my Google Drive. I can move this into a folder in my Google Drive. Any number of places there as well. I can from here create a new folder and entitle it Sample Docs or Chapter Quizzes 4, whatever the topic may be. And then anytime I move it, it can go there. So for example, the story I read, Death Watch, if this were a quiz dealing with that, I would move it there. The next time I open that folder, this quiz and everything else falling in with Death Watch would be there, which is a nice feature not only of Docs, but then clearly of using Google Drive as well. Clicking on File once again, I can publish this to the web. If I decide, you know what, I really don't like the way this one went, as I start typing a quiz or something, I can just move it to the trash. And then I have that option. If I move it to the trash, it will say, go to the Docs home screen, I can start over, or I can take it out of the trash. So it does sort of give you that, are you sure kind of option. So just in its basics form, Google Docs is a really, really useful tool for communicating, for coming up with ideas back and forth between teachers, back and forth between students. The shared doc is a wonderful thing, even for add-ons. In school, in your G Suite, you'll likely have an option here for doc to form. And so if I were to type these questions in a document, I could click doc to form and it would transfer that information into a Google form in which you could input the correct answers and incorrect answers, and it would actually, you could set it up to grade things for you. So within Google Docs, just in 2 short videos here, I've gone over a lot of the features and functionality, and there are still quite a few left, and it's like any other function that you use. Play around with it, find what works for you. What I've just gone over, truly for me, on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis in my classroom, are the most common uses that I have for Google Docs.